Alright everybody, back here with a Missile Command board. I've been struggling to fix my Missile Command, and this one came up on KLOV non-working, or assumed non-working, so I figured, why not? Maybe I'll get lucky and have get one working that can help me fix my one that's not working. So the one thing I'll mention is on this board, it has a ton. This is a revision of the board that has a ton of 2708s on it, and I would expect that some of these are bad, or the sockets are bad, or something like that. So I figured, I got my rig set up, ground, 12 volts, 5 volts, plus 5, and my black and white video. So let's power it on and see if we actually get anything. It looks like a blank screen. Actually, it was labeled Missile Command number 2, no picture. So no picture probably means CPU's in reset, or we got a clock issue. But yeah, there's nothing on the screen at all. So let's break out the logic. Just so I can show you with only one hand on the camera here, I have a little jumper attached to my logic probe to the reset line, so we can just see if it's working. It should be low and then high. You saw it for a split second, but if I hit the reset button, so the good news is the reset line is working. The bad news is just like what I expected. Blank screen, probably no clock, and if I come to this clock signal, it's just high. It's not toggling. 40, 39 is high, 38, that's 37, 37, 38, 39, 40, yeah. And the clock is 37 and 39, I think. So, gotta look at, where's our clock circuit at? Do we even have a crystal on the board somewhere? I gotta find it. Where the hell is it at? Is it supposed to be over here? Alright, let me come back. I gotta find the crystal. I mean, here's 10 megahertz clock. I mean, obviously without any clock we're not gonna have anything. So let me get my Missile Command board out. It was quicker than looking it up in the schematic, but you can see there, Y1, there is no crystal there. So I ordered some crystals. I think I have the right one, but that's the first part, is actually put a crystal in there, and then I start troubleshooting the clock circuit, make sure we have good clock, 5 megahertz, 10 megahertz. I think what would it be over here? 1.5 megahertz. I'm pretty sure. No, 1.25 megahertz on the CPU. So, and I haven't cleaned this board or anything. I'm just gonna see where I can get it working, and then I'll probably start pulling ROMs and doing those kinds of things. While my iron's warming up, I have this cheap little thing, and I've had it for almost 7 years, so it still works decent. I need to get a better one, but anyway, it takes a while to warm up. You can see some, I don't know how well this is going to come out because I'm kind of in the shadow here, but you can see definitely some scratches on the underside here. There could be some broken traces, but nothing is looking obvious to me. I'm gonna have to look over this. There's like a big long scratch right there, but it does look kind of superficial, but I might ohm out some of these, especially in this area here. It seems like there's a lot of scratching right around there. Maybe some of these traces get damaged. But there's the crystal there, so maybe somebody just removed it, or maybe the board wasn't working, so they stole the crystal to fix something else. I don't know, maybe we'll get lucky, we'll see. Okay, I have the crystal installed in Y1. If we come with our oscilloscope here, I have it on my frequency measurement here. We'll touch the 10 megahertz. We basically have 10. 9.9. Come to 5. 4.9. Hopefully you can see that. 4.99. Horizontal sync. 15.6 thousand. Pretty sure that's correct. Come over here to our clock. I think it's supposed to be 1.25. I don't remember what I had on my Missile Command, my other Missile Command board. I think it was slightly like around 1.17, 1.16, like that. And we are not in reset, but we still have a blank screen. Nothing on the screen there, but we have a good reset signal. So not sure. I'm probably going to start probing some of the address lines. I'm going to remove this pokey too. But it's not resetting, which is interesting, right? So why? Also, I might go ahead and remove these ROMs and just stick my Braze kit in there with a known working 6502. That's what I'm going to do. I have the pokey out, and I removed all the ROMs, put the Brazington multi-missile command, but then I noticed I probably didn't even have my PVM set up correctly for composite video. I don't even remember. Is it supposed to be line, or is it supposed to be... I think it's supposed to be like that. I'm not even sure, so let's power it on and see what we get, because I'm not sure if it wasn't working to begin with. I didn't hear any sound, but... Oh, I just see something now. It's scrolling. Oh, we got some type of, what is that? Is that vertical sync? Yeah, probably a vertical sync issue. Or no, I need to... Oh, there we go, right there. Bam, it's working. I just turned off my external sync. Or is it resetting? Let's see. Is it resetting? It's not resetting. It's just flashing Missile Command. That's weird, right? Gotta crank up my contrast a little bit. Alright, let me see if I hold down test. Oh, I don't have a JAMA wired up. All right, let me short test real quick and come back. All right, we got let's see here. RAM okay, ROM okay, map okay, INT okay, high score, bank, and then I think pokey is bad. Let me go ahead and hit reset real quick. Did it reset? Yeah. But it's not running code for some reason. Is that because of the pokey? I just put it back into test mode. Just trying to run the pokey. Alright, so let me put the pokey back in. I have I know I have good pokies too, so I'll definitely, if this one doesn't work, we'll be able to find one. Alright, got the pokey in. I don't know what it's gonna do. Doesn't look good though. Looks like it's a bad... Is it? No, I guess not. Pokey's good. That's good news. Why won't the game run? Let's see. I just took off test. I guess, yeah, the test menu or the game won't run without the pokey, I guess. And it's in German. What the... Oh, my dip switches. There's a broken dip switch here. Or something. Let me come back. There's a broken dip switch here. I need to go and verify the dip switch settings for this game, but I think that's why it's in German right now. I didn't even know that. I guess Brazington has the German language. Maybe, I don't even know. Is that a ROM selection, or is it every Missile Command comes with German option for the dips? Wacky. Didn't know that, but I think we got lucky. I didn't put the ROMs in yet, but I think it would have worked if I would have just had my PVM set correctly. We had a blank screen, replaced the clock, but I'm going to verify those ROMs and clean them up anyway. So But that's pretty cool. I mean, I'll be right back. At least I can actually, I have a working Missile Command board after like maybe 5 minutes of repair. So I have the dip switches set correctly to not have the German language, but I just noticed I spoke too soon probably. You can see that I am missing a lot of sprites. There's no graphics on the screen at all. There's no explosions, you don't see the planes or the missiles coming down. So something, I know it's kind of difficult to see there, but even if I turn up the contrast, but I'm gonna take everything apart, clean. I gotta replace or fix this edge connector. I'm gonna clean the board and clean the sockets, verify the ROMs, and we have to figure out what's going on with no graphics. There's one problem here. I don't know how many problems. I have to go back and look. See, that's the problem, is I don't memorize everything I'm doing. So I just got through working on a Missile Command board, and I don't even remember what I did on the other one. I might hook it up on the Fluke, because we did see before that we had RAM issues that the Braze kit didn't pick up. Well, no, because it says RAM's good. I don't know. I think that it's probably somewhere else. It's got to be somewhere else beyond, somewhere in the video section, I would think. I don't know if there's specific video RAM that you don't read with the Braze kit, or that you can't read. I don't know. Alright, so I'm going to clean. I'll be back in a little bit. It'll be right away for you guys, but it'll be like an hour or so for me. Okay, I'm at the back of the cabinet. I did end up, if you can see that, I guess, repairing the card edge right there with some electric conductive tape. I have the Braze kit still in. I haven't, I don't have the ROMs in yet, but I just want to see what this looks like instead of black and white with color. So let's power this thing on. Alright, here we go. See what we get. A lot of green background, so it's like almost like the green is stuck on, and maybe that's why. I don't know what's going on there. I'll put it in test mode. So something's going on in the color circuits, I think, or something. Pokey is fine. So let me go back to the bench with this. Okay, got it back at the bench, and actually I've been doing some poking around, so I'm just gonna walk you guys through what I've learned so far and what I figured out. But first, instead of using the composite video, black and white video, I just went ahead and made up an adapter. I had this hacked up harness. I think it was might have been from a Galaga or something, I don't know, but it had an amp connector on it, and it already had, these wires were cut off right there. So I just repurposed it, popped the pins out, and built a quick little Missile Command thing based off of this Ian Kellogg. As you can see that, he used to make these, made it easy to kind of get this little setup going there. So have that all set up, and let's power it up, and basically getting the same thing, right? Green is stuck on. So what I did is I figured we would start from the back side where green, red, and blue get output to the monitor. It comes back into these resistors, and then L8 pin 10, 15, and 2, and the inputs of those, I guess, this is some type of latch. What is it? A 157? What is a 157? No, 175. Is it a 175? Yeah, 175. Yeah, the D's are the inputs. So 4D, 3D, 2D, 1D. So pins 4, 5, 12, and 13. And I think the only ones we're worried about really are 12, 13, and 14 for the unlatched blues. So we're going to probe L8 real quick on the oscilloscope. And this is L8 right here. And we're going to look at 12. Pin 12 should be right there. That looks good. No, is that pin 12? Let's see, 9, 10, 11. No, that was pin 14. So that's pin 12. That's the red. Looks pretty decent. Pin 13 is green. That's obviously not good. It's not even moving it. Or it kind of is, actually. I don't know if you guys can see that. It kind of is, but it doesn't look quite right. And then pin 4 is the unlatched blue. That's the input, and that definitely doesn't look good. If we look at that's pin 10, that's the output on red. So we got something there. Pin 15 is the output on green. Something's going on. And pin 2 is the output of blue. And we got nothing. Let's do that with the logic probe real quick, just to show. So this is what I'm probing here. We'll start with the inputs, 12, 13, and 4. So we're going to go 12, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's definitely activity. 13. Yeah, 13 does not look good. That's the unlatched green. Kind of pretty much stuck high. And then pin 4 stuck low, and that's the unlatched red. So we need to look to see where those go back to, because obviously coming into this does not look good. Now, I guess I could, yeah, I'm thinking this chip is fine. We got a problem on the input side, so I'm going to come back and let's check the input. Alright, this is a different page of the schematic. Unlatched red, green, and blue obviously have some pull-up resistors here, but they come back to this color RAM, which is an 82S25. There's substitutes for it at L7. D4, the outputs are D1, D2, D3, D4, pins 11, 9, 7, and 5. So let's check those real quick. And that is at this right here, 11. What is this? 11. Okay, let's check pin 11. That's 9, 10, 11. Got activity. Pin 9. That's bad. On the outputs, we should have activity, and that's a output of a color RAM stuck high. That doesn't look good. Pin 7, which is right here. Oops. This corresponds to what we were seeing before. And then pin 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which doesn't. It's also tied low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm looking at this color RAM, and I was going to check. So we know the chip enable is tied low all the time, and the write enable is pin 3. Let's check pin 3. The write enable is not toggling at all, so we know that's probably bad. We need to trace that back. Let's just look at the address lines. A1, pin 15, 14, and 13. So it's right on this side right here. We're going to check pin 13, 14, and 15 of that RAM, which is right there. That's 16. Did I say 15? Yep, 15 has activity, so the address lines are toggling. Oh, pin 13 I think is always grounded. That's what it shows right there on the schematic. So 13 is grounded, 14, and 1. Pin 1 is the other address line. And so everything looks good on this RAM except for that write enable. that write enable is not toggling. So we got to trace it back to this. It says not color RAM. I guess that's what it means up there, that line there. Or maybe it's active when it's low. Could be the same thing. Active when low, COL RAM, color RAM. So, and then it does say here color RAM. Color RAM write enable is generated by the address decoding circuit during the vertical blanking period V blank. Color RAM low, typically color RAM typically goes low, and the microprocessor addresses the RAM at L7, which we just were testing, with BA0 through buffered address line 0 through buffer address line 2, and writes data into the color RAM data lines BD0 through BD3, which we didn't actually check those. I think we're good. I'll skip that step. I had checked them before and looked at this color RAM on the scope. I actually was thinking that this was the problem, and then I actually read something on. It's always good to do some research. I read something on Brian's website that said he had an issue with yellow being stuck on or something, and he checked the write enable pin on this. So all I did is Google Missile Command 82S25, and I found a couple threads, or a couple links that I could go poke around and see what they found. And Brian mentioned write enable pin. Always check the write enable pin on RAMs is the bottom line. The outputs, the inputs, and the chip enable and the write enable. Hopefully this is in focus good enough for you guys. So the color RAM, you got to come to the address decoding part of the schematic. And this is something I had printed out and started doing signature analysis on. I actually didn't take signatures for some reason for these. I'm wondering if I should come back and do that. I should be able to get, we should be able to get signatures for color RAM on the signature analyzer. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not, but I might, just to screw around a little bit more. Because I also have all these signatures that I took on the other address lines from the buffers and stuff. Anyway, here's the color RAM. It comes back to chip E8, pin 4, and this is what's confusing to me, is the schematic said it's addressed by BA0. What did it say? It's addressed by buffered address line 0 through buffer address line 2. I don't see how that's possible. I mean, it says it's BA8 coming in here, BA9 and BA10. How is either the Missile Command documentation is wrong or something else? Maybe I will put this on a signature analyzer just so we can see what the signature is here versus there, and make sure that's not the signature for buffer address line 0. Yeah, I'm going to come back. I'm going to do that before the end of the video. Screw it. Alright, anyway, we're going to come back to E8 and check pin 4. Check E8. E8 is right here. Right? And 1, 2, 3, 4 is high. Whoops. And that's what our chip enable was doing. And I figured would actually use the logic comparator here real quick. I don't even think I have to stop. Let me just make sure my tools don't get in the way or short something out. Let's see there. Alright, I have my 7442. It's a 7442. I'm going to put my comparator on, and bam. Based off of all the inputs on my 7442, it's showing that pin 4 is off, right? The output is not the same as the output of my comparative chip. So I'm thinking this is our problem. Oh, what's weird is when I did that and took this off, did the game freeze? I think the game froze or something wacky. Changed colors though after I put that on. That's weird. Does not like the comparator being on that. It's just solid green. For whatever reason, does not like that. But with it off, does it boot now? Alright, so I think I figured out. I guessed that because I tested my voltage earlier, and with just this coming through my JAMA connector, it was around 4.7 volts. So I just hooked up some extra power to get better 5 volts, and now it's not flaking out like it was before. It's still solid green, and you can see the comparator there as well. So anyway, I'm going to replace that 7442. It is a 7442 at E8, and then maybe come back. Well, hopefully that fixes our problem, and then I'll come back and hook up the signature analyzer. All right, so I have that socketed. I just want to cut the chip out. I've had too much bad luck trying to remove chips from these Missile Command boards. I think the boards are kind of fragile, so I just cut them out. If I think they're bad, I'm going to cut it out and remove the pins. I put this 74 LS42 in there, and hopefully that works. I'm just going to power it up. Let's see. And I don't think I'm going to put the... Oh, shit, it didn't fix it. It does look a little bit better, like we got some other color going on. We got more colors than what we had before, but why the hell is it green? We definitely have missiles coming down. What the hell? We're not done. That's kind of weird, huh? Is that my my contrast? Huh. Well, we definitely fixed something. Let me pause and come back, but it's still something screwed up. It's green, but everything. I see all the letters, all the not character. Is it characters? Yeah, characters are the letters. We see that. It looks like everything's working. It's just the green is like way overdriven. I don't know what's going on. We'll have to investigate that. But let's just check pin 4 here. So that's what we should have been getting on pin 4. That is the color RAM enable. And if we come to our color RAM, our 82, what is it? 82S. No, what the fuck? What is that? 82S25. Pin 3 is working now. Let's look at the outputs there. Pin 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, it's definitely going crazy. Pin 7. Yep. Yeah, it changes based off of... Oh, shit. Changes based off of what's on the screen. If you can hear that. Now it goes really nuts. Alright, that's pin 7. That goes to blue. Pin 9. And pin 11. Like, we don't know if the data is actually correct that's leaving this chip, but definitely toggling, and they weren't before. They were kind of stuck high. So why is the green stuck on? Let me think about this. Alright, this is just a hunch, but I figured I'd come over here. We're going to look at before it goes out to the board. You got red, green, and blue. We're going to look at L8 again. Pins 10 is red, pin 15 is green, and pin 2 is blue. And I put my oscilloscope on voltage. I think this is like some type of average volts or something. Where the hell is L8? Right here. So let's look at pin 10. And that's what it looks like right there. And our voltage is like, 0.02. So like, less than a volt, you know what I mean? Because this is times 10. So 0.1 would be 1 volt. This is like 0.02 volts, right? 0.2 volts. 0.2 volts is what that is reading. All right, on the red. And let's go to green, which is pin 15. And it's reading almost 3 volts. So definitely getting pulled up higher, or I guess harder. I don't know the right terminology here, but that doesn't seem right. And let's go to blue, which is pin 2, and that looks a lot more like red at 0.2 volts versus 3 volts. Remember, my probe is on multiplier of times 10, so I gotta move the decimal place 1. So I'm thinking I need to check these resistors right here that are to the 5 volt pull-up line. I need to check R75. I'm thinking that damn thing is jacked. Let me find R75. I'm not gonna film it, but I did measure these in circuit, and R75, I think, right? Where am I at? Yeah, 75, 76, 77. Those go to R78, which then goes to 5 volts. And all of these test fine in circuit. Those resistors are fine. I don't know what's Q8 do. R79. I don't think that's related. That's something else probably. Oh, that's for the vertical sync. That Q8. Unrelated. And then I also tested these R46, R47, R82. These test fine. And that's what goes actually to the red-green output. So the only thing I can think of is this 74-175. Yeah, it's a 74-175. That's the only thing I can think of that's maybe not I mean, what else could be causing that green to be so high? Could it be the color RAM or something? By the way, I had pulled this out. I think I don't think this was socketed in this board. I had pulled out this bipolar prom. I think it's unrelated to the whole color circuit anyway, but I'm not sure. I think it's like a dress decoding kind of thing. But I just wanted to test it to see if, or was this one socketed and my other one wasn't? Yeah, never mind. This one was socketed, and I did test it. It's fine. Getting confused, sorry. All right, let me think about this. Maybe I have a 175 and I can put it in my comparator and see if it shows anything different. It took me like an hour to find an LS175. I really need to, oh gosh, I need to do something about that. Get like organized on my TTL chips. But anyway, I found one, and looks like pins 14 and 15 are not reading correctly, and this is the first time where I've been able to, I think, identify a bad chip based off of my logic comparator. I think this 175 is bad, and the logic comparator is kind of telling me that, and I wouldn't have been able to tell. Well, I did have a guess because the voltage was reading higher, but I think, excuse me, dang, I need to replace this 175 at L8. Pins 14 and 15 are the green line. And those are the ones that are reading bad, and I actually have them set up correctly as well. 14 and 15 are output, so on my universal adapter. So pretty excited about actually using this for the first time. Now 4 is kind of blinking weird, but I don't think that might have something to do with this comparator, because I'll cover that sometime in the future, because I replaced one of the chips on this comparator, and I think there's a little bit slight off in the timing by replacing the LS386 or whatever. Anyway, I'm not going to get distracted. I'm going to replace this 175, and all right, I have L8 replaced. Everything put in correctly. Let's power it on. I haven't done it yet. Cross your fingers. Bam! That was it. My logic comparator finally didn't let me down. That looks good. Cool. Let me go ahead and put this. I'm gonna put this board in my cabinet, and we'll just test it real quick to see if everything else is working fine and the sound and stuff like that. And I'll be right back. All right, have it in the cabinet, and it is looking good. I still need to fix my original board, but let's see here. This is looking pretty good. Maybe we just fire up a game real quick to finish up this video. I'm going to wrap up this video actually. just with a little quick game, but I'm going to finish this video. I fixed this board. It seems to be working 100%. But I suck at this game, but at least now with this working board, I hopefully will be able to fix my other board because I'll have something to compare it to. And whoop, not doing too bad. I don't know, my score is not that good though, so I turned the volume down just a tad bit. Oh, you butthead. And the camera's in the way a little bit for me to moving. I might get a bonus man here. I don't know. We'll see. Well, I don't know how I have this game actually set up. Uh-oh. I'm in trouble. Lost one base. Dang. This is my first time playing in a super long time. This is where... Oh, I'm out. I know you're supposed to just go... Damn. I only have one base left. Ah, I should have just focused on that one guy. How long am I filming here? 3 minutes? It's a 3-minute game. I got one extra base somehow. I don't know how that happened. Oh my gosh. Hey, I beat my high score, I guess, right? That's not bad for a first time, and on camera since I suck. There we go. Yeah, so anyway, high score, fixed the game, end up being a good night. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. See ya.